Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Headphone Discussions, episode 2. Today I think we're going to start off by talking about AudioQuest. I got their Nighthawks, their flagship, Nighthawk Carbons actually, their flagship open-backed headphones. They sound pretty good. Link to that review is down below. One thing I wanted to kind of touch on was the company itself. They do a lot of high-end cables, and cables are kind of one of those things that are half the time regarded as being like a snake oil thing, and then the other half of the time being regarded as something that like actually legitimately makes a difference. Now, on their website, their cables are... Because before I saw the review of their headphones, I had never actually heard of the company before because I don't really buy aftermarket cables that much unless there's something wrong with the cable that it comes with. Ironically enough, these have an issue. So I never heard of the company before looking into these headphones. So what I found was having trouble navigating to where they have their headphones. So let's just do like speaker cables, right? Just the generic, it's the one of the drop-down links on Google. So for speaker cables, if you want to go with, let's say, the Rocket 88s, which are right there. They are... The price isn't listed, actually. Let's look them up online. So if I look up Rocket 88s, guess how much these speaker cables are. Just guess. They are on this particular website. Let's do Amazon. 10 feet of Rocket 88 speaker cable with banana wire or banana connectors, right? $898. $898. That is more than my entire pair of headphones. That is more than HD600s, N1060s, and M40Xs combined. That is insane. That, I cannot believe that anything would make that much of a difference, personally. But I've already done a video about whether or not speaker cables are bullshit, and I will link that down in the description, but the general gist of that is basically, if you want it to make a difference, I think that something similar to the, what's the term? The placebo effect takes place, and I think that as long as you enjoy what you're doing, and you think it makes a difference, and it's a good difference, to you, that's all that matters. But to me, I don't really think it makes a difference, so when I hear different cables, they don't really seem like they change anything, personally. The only thing that changes is the ease of use and the comfortability and style, if you're into that sort of thing. So that's what changes for me, but it's not the rest of it. Yeah, so these things are kind of an enigma. Like they're very strange. They don't do things in a traditional way by any means. And they're kind of cool for that. They're kind of this like unique kind of pair of headphones that's just kind of outside the general categories of everything that you're gonna get. Another thing that I wanted to touch on today is I just passed 200 subscribers. That's insane. We have grown a very large amount in a very short time period. Because I have had this channel since 2015. Now, I wasn't always doing reviews on this channel. Originally, I started with doing kind of like a vlog style, and then I started doing reviews, and then all of a sudden those reviews started being watched a lot more, and I was like, great. So in the past 28 days, just as an example, today is the 23rd of December. Christmas is coming up. Merry Christmas, by the way. We have gained 124 of those 201 subscribers in the last 28 days. So that shows you how quickly things are starting to progress. And right now I have 14,773 views. That may not sound like a ton, but to me that's really, really impressive. And I really am proud of that, and I really appreciate all you guys sticking with me. Like I said last time, I was going to start a Patreon, and I did, and I got my first patron. Thank you very much, GA. Yeah, so things are looking up. 2017 has really kicked up at the end of the year, and I think that's totally awesome. I can't wait to see what next year is going to bring. I think it's just going to continue to be really good. My plans right now are to continue reviewing. I want to do three types of headphone videos, basically. Four. First impressions. I think it's important before you're burning, before you get before you settle and get stagnant for what you are listening to. I think it's a good idea to have first impressions, to like unboxing type stuff, and just explaining what everything comes with. Basically, the first impressions. It's in the name, right? Then I want to do reviews. I want to do standard traditional reviews. I also want to do comparisons, and then the headphone discussion kind of things. My last one did pretty well. It did better than a lot of my reviews, actually. And I think it's important for somebody to be talking about the industry. And that's what I want to do. And you guys had a very good response in the comment section, and you were chatting, and that's exactly what I want. I want a discussion. I want to be able to talk about not only the industry and the good and the bad, but everything in between. And then my plan after I do those four is eventually I want to start reviewing amplifiers and speakers. And once I do that, then my channel will start to be molded into exactly what I want it to be, because I want to encompass all of audio, but I don't have the budget to do everything that I want to do at this time. I can't allocate that much money towards this channel since it's still in its infancy. So I'm going to start with one category, which is headphones. And if something comes along, if I buy another amp for whatever reason, then of course I'll do the amp, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it, you know? What else? I was using an aftermarket cable for the AudioQuest here that came from the M1060, which is over here. And I like that cable a lot more. I talk about this in the Nighthawk first impressions video that I just made. And I like that one a lot more. And despite AudioQuest being like a cable company, right? Because they only make two pairs of headphones. They make the Night Owls and the Nighthawks, and open and close back to the same headphone. This cable that it comes with actually has a little bit of feedback in the left ear. Like a little bit of static feedback. Not very much, just like very, very slightly. I can only hear it when like nothing is going on, when there's no noise, no background noise, no music, nothing. But I mean, they're a quite expensive cable primary company, and for them to have a mistake at their flagship headphone, I think it's kind of funny. So that kind of makes me question the legitimacy of the almost $1,000 speaker cable. Anyways, so those, I'm going to be buying another replacement cable for that, the same one that I bought for them 1060s, because it's the same connector. And then after I do that, then those should be good to go. I do plan on keeping these for the time being. There's a guy who is at work who I actually want to get over here to get him into being an audiophile, because I was talking to him, and he he's a tech guy, but he doesn't really know anything, or doesn't know that much about like high-end audio, and he kind of wants to get into it. And I was talking to him, and I think it's really cool when somebody's genuinely interested in what you're talking about in person, because online people have a way of kind of finding each other, but in person it doesn't really work that way. In person, 99% of the people I talk to about headphones, they don't give a shit. They think a good headphone is Beats, but it's not a good headphone. I mean, some of the Beats they're getting better, I won't lie. They don't sound great. I would take pretty much any pair of Sennheisers over it, but they're not as bad as they used to be, I guess, if that's a good thing. Anyways, so he was kind of interested in the community, and hopefully within the next couple weekends here, he'll come over and I can show him everything that, like, all these headphones, because I really want to blow this dude's mind and get him to like go out and just buy a big, throw whatever budget out there and go buy some nice headphones. And I don't know why I want to do this so badly. I just want to like convert somebody into my evil, like, money grabbing, or not money grabbing, but money spending ways on all these high end headphone things. And I think it'd be really cool to see somebody who like wasn't already into it, because the people who are finding my channel are already well into being an audiophile. They don't have to have all the headphones in the world, the biggest budget in the world, but they're into it. They're in the community. They probably watch Z and DMS and hi-fi headphone channels and stuff like that. But this guy is completely new. He doesn't know anything. And so for me to be able to like drag him into it, I feel kind of like evil about it. Like, come watch this stuff. So once we do that, I'll come back and let you guys know what his takeaway is, because I think his budget, I'm not trying to speak for him, but from the reaction I'm gauging from him, I'm assuming his budget is anywhere between like 75, zero really, to $300. I don't think he is particularly looking to spend that much more, especially just getting into it. And as you guys know, being an audiophile is like audiophile equipment is like a pipeline. It's like you have to build everything to get an end result. But we're gonna look at headphones specifically because, like I said in previous videos, I think that makes the biggest difference. I think that is the number one thing that will change the way something sounds to the biggest degree. So once we do that, I'll come back, like I said, and let you guys know kind of what he's buying. And I'm curious if he's gonna get something. I want to see if I can convince him to get something that I haven't tried. So let me know in the comments down below of a sub $300 headphone that would be good for a new beginner to really be impressed by headphones, or by kind of audiophile grade headphones. I don't want to use, so the ones that I have right now that I'm going to show him are the Superlux 688Bs, the HD600s, the Audio-Technica M40Xs, the Monoprice M1060s, and then I'm not going to show them, but I'm going to not have you guys include the M560s and the M565s, and then of course the Nighthawks, which are out of his budget. But all those are approximately under $300, and I want him to get something new. One, so that I can check it out and let you guys know what I think of it. But I think it's cool when you get something that like not everybody has. So for him to come over and see that I have these, one, I don't want him to be intimidated thinking that he needs all this, because you don't. You don't even need a $100 pair of headphones to be an audiophile. Being an audiophile is not about the gear. The gear is simply a product of, one, having shitty budget rules, two, having an obsession, And 3, time. Like, I didn't acquire all of these at the same time. What I did was, over time, I think the first pair of headphones that I ever got to test being an audiophile, I went totally overboard and I bought a pair of HD800s. And I didn't even like them. I didn't like them at all. I thought they were way too bright. Actually, I think if I still heard them, I don't think I would like them particularly now. But I ended up returning them because I thought they were horrible. On top of that, the cable that they came with was only a 1/4-inch adapter. So I was like, okay, well, now I have to buy an amplifier. So I bought a shit stack. And it still sounded just okay. Like, it was very clear. It was the most clear thing I've ever heard up until that point. But clarity, as you guys know, it's not everything. Anyways, so I returned it, and I didn't touch anything regarding audiophile. I didn't even watch any videos because I was just like, if this is what this is, then I don't want to be a part of it. Because at the time, the HD600s were kind of like heralded as the king. I mean, they weren't the most expensive. They weren't the best at the time. But the marketing that they were getting from like Unbox Therapy and DMS, not DMS, MKHB, or MKBHD, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. The marketing that these headphones were getting heralded them as like the best that money could buy. So I bought them and it sucked. And I got really demotivated because I was like, look, if this is like the pinnacle of what we're supposed to have, like, I don't want to be involved in this. This isn't my taste. This isn't what I want. And just so you know how much I've changed, at the time I had like Razer Kraken headphones, which are like these big, bulbous, bassy, like in your face, ugly headphones from a gaming company called Razer. And so I like went back to those and I was like, well, this kind of sucks, but you know, it's better than the HD600s at the time. Now it'd be different, of course, but at the time that's what my thinking was, right? And so for like 6 months I didn't touch anything. And then I saw a video on HD600s, and for whatever reason they just intrigued me. I just wanted to know. Because the way that the guy was describing it, and I don't remember who it is, I don't even remember the video, but I remember the feeling of watching it and being like, I just have to know what those sound like. And so I bought the HD600s. And that's what really kicked it off, because those sound phenomenal. I mean, if you have never heard a pair of, especially if you're coming from something like Beats or something from like, you know, the traditional music headphone that like you'd buy at like a Best Buy or something like that, you know, to those, they're good. They're something that bridges the gap and changes the game of how the headphone sounds completely. How music sounds completely, because they have that vocal isolation. So that changed the way I was listening to music, that changed the music I was listening to, that changed like everything about music and being an audiophile, and got me hooked instantly. And then from there I bought the Superluxes because I was looking for a gaming set of pair of headphones. And then I bought the M50Xs. I didn't like those. Then, you know, kind of over time you just acquire these headphones and you try them out, and if you don't like them, you sell them, or you like them but you want something new and you don't have the budget for two, so you sell one of them to help pay for another one. It's just a process. It's ongoing. It's not something that just happens overnight for most people, unless you just have a lot of money laying around and you just now get into it and you're just like, screw it, let's go big. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong way to do this thing. There's just the way that you choose to do it. And getting into it should be your one and only goal. So I want to help this guy get into it. So what I'm going to ask from you guys is, 1, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. 2, if you do want to support me on Patreon, I greatly appreciate it. I really do. And 3, I want song lists of songs that you recommend that are good to like just really blow people's mind. I have a lot of my own that I like, but I want to see others, and I want to kind of expand my already gigantic music library. So please point me in the right direction for that, as well as headphone recommendations. I think that's going to be it for this video because I see it's getting past 20 minutes here, so it's getting pretty long. Until next time, my name is Josh. This has been One Man's Guide. This has been Headphone Discussions, episode 2. I'll see you guys next time. Merry Christmas.